Welcome back to our channel. In this video, we reveal some of the most valuable coins in the world, coins that collectors and investors are willing to pay thousands or even millions for. Imagine this for a moment. You're emptying out a jar of loose change, maybe from your dresser or that old coffee can in the kitchen, and among the dull silver gleam of ordinary coins, one quarter catches your eye. It looks familiar, yes, but something about it feels different. What if I told you that one single 1997 Washington quarter, the kind most people spend without a second thought, could be worth up to $789,000? Now, before you dismiss that as impossible, let's pause. Because this isn't just a story about a coin. It's a story about discovery, timing, and opportunity. Somewhere out there, hidden in plain sight, are coins like this, rare, valuable, and life-changing for those lucky enough to find them. And in the next few minutes, you'll learn exactly why this coin has collectors scrambling, what error makes it so extraordinary, and how you could identify one before it slips through your fingers forever. Think of this as your treasure hunt, except the gold might already be sitting in your coin jar. The 1997 Mint Mark Washington quarter was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, a place famous for its high production and precision. But even in the most controlled systems, perfection is elusive. And it's precisely that imperfection that turned one ordinary-looking quarter into a nearly $800,000 masterpiece. During the minting process, a rare double die strike occurred, an error so subtle that most people wouldn't even notice it under casual glance. The inscriptions "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" may appear slightly doubled. The details on Washington's profile seem shadowed, and the date, 1997, looks as though it has a faint echo behind it. That echo, my friend, is the whisper of value. Collectors across the nation are in a frenzy. Coin forums are ablaze, auction houses are buzzing, and seasoned numismatists are calling it one of the most desirable modern quarter errors of the decade. One coin, authenticated and graded in near-perfect condition, reached a jaw-dropping $789,000. Yes, you heard that right. A single quarter worth more than a luxury home or a lifetime of financial security. And here's where it gets exciting. There's reason to believe more of these coins could still be out there, sitting unnoticed in wallets, tucked away in coin rolls, or resting in forgotten piggy banks. So if you've ever handled a 1997 Washington quarter, it's time to look again. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Could I really have one? Well, stranger things have happened. After all, every major discovery starts with a curious glance and the courage to look a little closer. You might be laughing right now, thinking, great, I'm about to spend the next 3 hours staring at quarters under a magnifying glass. And honestly, you wouldn't be the first. Some people spend their nights hunting Netflix shows, others hunt national treasures in their pocket change. Which one sounds more profitable? The beauty of the coin world is that wealth doesn't always come from where you expect it. Sometimes, it's not in stocks, real estate, or crypto, but in a small piece of history resting in your palm. The 1997 Washington quarter is proof that hidden fortune still exists for those willing to notice the extraordinary inside the ordinary. But here's the catch: values like this don't last forever. As more collectors find and authenticate their coins, rarity begins to shift, and the market evolves. The window to sell at peak demand could close just as quickly as it opened. That's why timing matters. Now is the moment to check your quarters, study the mint marks, and if you find something that stands out, even slightly, get it appraised by a certified expert. Because the next record-breaking sale could have your name attached to it. Imagine what $789,000 could do for you. A new home, an investment portfolio, or maybe the freedom to live life on your terms. These coins aren't just metal, they're gateways to possibility, to wealth, to legacy. And here's the cliffhanger. Reports suggest that more error coins from 1997 are beginning to surface, which means someone is about to strike gold again. Will it be you? Or will that coin slip by unnoticed into the hands of someone else? Stay curious. Stay vigilant. Because the next time you hold a 1997 Washington quarter, you might not just be holding 25 cents. You could be holding nearly $1 million dream. If the story inspired you, don't just scroll away. Start looking, start learning, and start living like the opportunities are already in your hands, because sometimes they are. Imagine this for a moment. You're emptying your change jar, just another ordinary evening. The clinking of coins fills the air, nickels, dimes, quarters. But what if one of those simple quarters could change your life forever? What if that tiny silver coin in your hand was worth $777,000? Sounds unbelievable, right? Yet this isn't some fairy tale. It's the real story behind one of the rarest Washington quarters ever discovered, the 1978 no-mint mark quarter dollar, a coin that has taken the numismatic world by storm. Now, before you dismiss this as just another coin video, stop for a second, because by the time you finish watching, you might find yourself rushing to check your own pocket change. You could be sitting on a piece of American history, a minting error so rare, so unique, that collectors are willing to pay nearly $750,000 for it. But here's the question. What makes this coin so special? Why are collectors competing like Wall Street investors for something that costs 25 cents to make? Stay with me, because the truth behind this coin's staggering value is not only fascinating, it could be life-changing. Let's travel back to 1978, a year of disco, denim jackets, and a booming U.S. economy. The Philadelphia Mint was striking millions of Washington quarters. Normally, coins from Philadelphia during that time had no mint mark. But this isn't about what's normal. Somewhere between the presses and the polish, an extraordinary mistake was born. A minting error so subtle most people never noticed. This particular 1978 no-mint mark quarter has a mysterious flaw. A striking misalignment and doubling on the obverse side, showing subtle distortions on George Washington's face and lettering. To an untrained eye, it might look like a tiny imperfection. But to a collector, it's a masterpiece. A fingerprint of the mint's human touch in an age before complete automation. And that's what makes it priceless. It's not just metal. It's a story, frozen in time. It's the story of American craftsmanship, imperfection, and discovery. Now, here's the part that gives every collector chills. There's no official record of how many of these error quarters exist. Some experts say only a handful ever escaped into circulation. Others whisper about a hidden stash locked away, waiting to resurface. So imagine the adrenaline rush of realizing that the quarter sitting in your coin jar, the same one you've handled 100 times, could be one of those few. It's like finding a Picasso at a yard sale. The current market value? A verified specimen of this rare quarter recently stunned collectors with a sale price of $777,000. And yes, that's real. Not $7,000. Not $77,000. $777,000. And with collector demand soaring for rare U.S. error coins, that number could rise even higher. Now, let's pause for a second. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself, when was the last time you looked closely at a coin in your hand? You might be thinking, great, now I'll never look at spare change the same way again. Well, you shouldn't, because your next coffee purchase might just cost you a fortune. In reverse, the coin you hand to the barista could literally be worth a luxury car. So maybe, hold on to that quarter next time. Here's where this story gets powerful. Every year, thousands of rare coins slip through unnoticed. They pass from hand to hand, from one generation to another, silently carrying immense value. The people who do take the time to learn, to look, to recognize the signs, those are the ones turning simple pocket change into generational wealth. And that's exactly why coins like the 1978 no-mint mark Washington quarter have become the gold standard in high-value coin collecting. Investors, collectors, even luxury asset brokers are now chasing these error coins because they represent something bigger than money. They represent legacy. Think about it. One single coin, worth $777,000, can pay off a house, fund retirement, or create the foundation for a new lifestyle of freedom and abundance. The kind of life where your money works for you, because you were smart enough to recognize opportunity when it jingled in your hand. Now, here's the catch. These coins don't wait. As word spreads, collectors move fast. Every time one surfaces, it's snapped up within hours, sometimes minutes. That means the time to act is now. If you have any Washington quarters from the late 1970s, don't ignore them. Get them inspected. Use a magnifying glass, check for doubling, check for unusual surface marks. That tiny imperfection could be your ticket to wealth. And here's the real twist. If you think the 1978 no-mint mark quarter is impressive, wait until you hear about the 1982 missing mint mark Roosevelt dime. Another error coin that's quietly breaking records across the US. Some collectors say it's the next $1 million piece, so before you go digging through your couch cushions, make sure you hit subscribe and turn on notifications, because in the next video, we're revealing the dime that's turning ordinary people into millionaires overnight. This isn't just about coins. It's about possibility, about seeing value where others see none. Because wealth doesn't just come to those who work hard, it comes to those who notice opportunity. And sometimes that opportunity is as small as a quarter. Imagine this for a moment. You're digging through your old change jar, maybe the one that's been sitting in your kitchen drawer for decades. You pull out a handful of coins, thinking nothing of it. And there it is, a simple 1980 Washington quarter. Ordinary, right? But what if I told you that very coin could be worth a staggering $765,000 today? Yes, you heard that right. $750,000 for a single 25-cent piece. Sounds impossible? Well, stick with me because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this coin is so valuable, how to identify it, and what makes collectors all over the world desperate to get their hands on it. Now, before you rush off to check your coin jar, hold on. Because the secret behind the 1980 Washington quarter error isn't something you can see at first glance. It's subtle, hidden in plain sight, and often overlooked by people who don't know what to look for. And that's exactly what makes it so special. But first, let's set the stage. The year is 1980. America is buzzing with energy, innovation, and change. The Philadelphia Mint is striking millions of Washington quarters, but a few of them slip through the cracks with a minting mistake so rare. It transforms an everyday coin into a collector's dream. Let's dive into what makes this coin worth $765,000. The key lies in a minting error so extraordinary. It's like finding a diamond in the rough. This particular 1980 quarter features a rare double strike error combined with a dramatic off-center alignment. The coin's obverse, that's the side with George Washington's portrait, shows a subtle doubling around his profile and lettering, while the reverse, the eagle side, carries a slight misalignment that gives it a ghostly, almost artistic appearance. Now, to the untrained eye, this might look like nothing more than a smudge or a worn-out coin. But to an expert collector, this is the ultimate jackpot. These imperfections are not flaws, they're fingerprints of history, proof of a moment when the precision of the US Mint slipped for just a fraction of a second. Think about it. Millions of coins struck perfectly, but a handful, maybe fewer than 10 known to exist, escaped with this one defining feature. And collectors? They're willing to pay small fortunes for them. In one recent private auction, a verified 1980 error quarter sold for a heart-stopping $765,000. Now, here's a question for you. When was the last time you checked your pocket change? Seriously. Because right now, somewhere in America, another one of these quarters could be sitting in a cup holder or lost in a couch cushion. Funny how we ignore what might just make us rich, isn't it? And don't worry, I see you glancing over at that old coffee can full of coins. Hold that thought, because in just a moment, I'll tell you exactly how to spot one of these rare treasures and how to avoid selling it for pennies on the dollar. Here's where things get exciting. The 1980 error quarter is highly sought after not just because of its rarity, but because it represents a turning point in American coinage, a bridge between vintage craftsmanship and modern minting technology. It's a tangible piece of history, and the market for these coins has never been hotter. Collectors across the US are actively hunting for them. Auction prices are skyrocketing, and every year, fewer and fewer examples are left in private hands. The demand is fierce, and the opportunity is shrinking fast. This is not just a collector's item. It's an investment-grade artifact. Now, here's your moment of truth. If you happen to find a 1980 quarter with a P mint mark under the date, check carefully. Look for signs of doubling, especially around Washington's profile, the word liberty, and the eagle's wings. Examine it under good light, or better yet, get it professionally graded. Because one small detail could mean the difference between pocket change and life-changing money. And here's a bit of humor to keep us grounded. Imagine explaining to your grandkids that your big investment wasn't in stocks, crypto, or real estate, but in a quarter you found under your car seat. That's the kind of story that makes history and headlines. So before you scroll away, let me leave you with this. Every coin tells a story, but only a few hold the power to change yours forever. The 1980 P. Washington quarter is one of those rare treasures, a reminder that wealth often hides in the most unexpected places. Don't let it slip away. Go through your old coins, get them appraised, and who knows, the next $765,000 coin might be in your hand right now in our next episode. I'll reveal another US quarter that looks almost identical to the 1980p, but it's even rarer and recently sold for over $1 million. You won't want to miss that. So hit subscribe, stay curious, and remember, every coin has a secret, waiting for someone smart enough to discover it. Have you ever held a simple quarter in your hand and thought, this little piece of metal could change my life? What if I told you that one specific 1981 Washington quarter, the one stamped with the letter P from the Philadelphia Mint, could be worth nearly $995,000 today? That's right, not $1, not even $1,000, but close to $1 million for a single coin that might be hiding in your pocket change right now. Now, before you rush to your dresser drawer or that old jar of coins sitting in your kitchen, let's take a step back. Because the story behind this rare 1981 P quarter isn't just about money. It's about hidden opportunity, a symbol of how fortune can hide in plain sight, waiting for someone who knows what to look for to so grab your attention. Because in the next few minutes, we're going to uncover the secrets of the 1981 P Washington quarter, the shocking minting error that turned an ordinary coin into a small fortune, and why collectors are paying top dollar to get their hands on one. Stay until the end, because what I reveal in the final act might just make you recheck every quarter you've ever owned. To understand why this coin is commanding nearly $1 million in today's market, we have to rewind to 1981, a pivotal year in U.S. coinage. The Philadelphia Mint, for the first time, was experimenting with subtle changes in the die, the metal stamp used to strike each coin. Somewhere in that process, a remarkable minting error occurred. The quarter came out with double die features, microscopic doubling on George Washington's portrait and inscriptions. But what made it truly exceptional was its mirror-like proof finish, something that was never meant for circulation coins. Imagine finding a coin meant for collectors, struck by accident, released into general circulation. That's like discovering a luxury car with gold trim sold for the price of a bicycle. And here's the kicker, only a handful of these error quarters were ever confirmed to exist. Each one authenticated today becomes a treasure, a tangible piece of minting history. Now, you might be wondering, but why is the value so high? Isn't it just a quarter? Great question, and the answer lies in demand. Over the last decade, coin collectors and high-end investors have been pouring millions into rare U.S. coins. They're not just buying metal, they're buying rarity, story, and status. The 1981 P error quarter checks every box. It's scarce, mysterious, and undeniably valuable. And here's something that will make you smile. One of these coins, recently authenticated by a top grading company, fetched nearly $995,000 in a private sale. That's enough to buy a house, a luxury car, or fund an early retirement. Not bad for a piece of pocket change, right? Now, before you start checking under your couch cushions or begging the cashier for quarters at the gas station, let's talk about how to know if your coin could be the one. Because you don't want to accidentally spend a fortune on a cup of coffee. Look for the P mint mark just beside Washington's ponytail. It's small but powerful. Examine it under good light or a magnifying glass. Check for any doubling on the date or the inscriptions, Liberty, and in God we trust. If you spot unusual luster or a mirror-like surface, congratulations. You may have struck gold, metaphorically speaking. Here's the truth. Every coin tells a story, but only a few tell one that can rewrite your future. The 1981 P Washington quarter is more than a collector's item. It's a silent witness of a minting mistake that turned into a millionaire's dream. The beauty of this story is that you don't need luck, you just need awareness. Picture this, you're sorting through an old coin jar, maybe something your parents or grandparents left behind, and there it is, that bright, slightly different quarter staring back at you. You send it for authentication, your hands trembling as the expert confirms it's genuine. Days later, it's listed, and an elite collector makes an offer you can't refuse. Nearly $1 million for a single coin. That's not fantasy. That's reality for a few lucky individuals who knew what to look for. Now, let's create your opportunity. Don't wait. Check your quarters, talk to coin dealers, and get your finds appraised. Because in the fast-paced world of rare coin trading, timing is everything. The market is hotter than ever, and interest in mint errors is surging. Every day, coins like these become harder to find, and every year the value climbs higher. And here's something most people don't know. There's a rumored variation of this same coin, an even rarer 1981p prototype that may be worth over $1.2 million if verified. But that's a story for another video, so remember, the next time you hold a coin, don't just see metal. See potential. Because wealth doesn't always announce itself with luxury cars or designer suits. Sometimes, it whispers from the jingling change in your pocket. The 1981p Washington quarter is living proof that hidden treasures still exist, and that the key to unlocking them lies in awareness, patience, and belief in your own ability to discover value where others overlook. So go ahead, check your coins, explore your collection, and maybe, just maybe, the next great treasure waiting to be found is already in your hands. Imagine walking into a gas station, buying a coffee, and handing over some loose change, only to discover later that one of those coins could have made you a millionaire. Sounds unbelievable? Well, believe it, because that's exactly what's happening right now with the 1983p Washington quarter dollar. This isn't just another coin. This is a treasure disguised as pocket change. A coin that recently shocked collectors when one sold for an astounding $865,000. Yes, a regular 25-cent coin that most people would overlook, now worth almost $1 million. But here's where it gets truly fascinating. This coin's value isn't just about age or rarity. It's about error, a minting mistake so unique, so extraordinary, that it has transformed an everyday coin into a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. And the best part? There could still be thousands of these quarters out there, waiting to be found, maybe even in your own home, hidden in a drawer, an old coin jar, or a forgotten collection from your childhood. So, before you spend another quarter, watch this video till the very end, because by the time you finish, you'll know exactly how to spot one of these million-dollar mistakes. Now, let's rewind to the early 1980s. America was changing fast. Technology was advancing, the economy was shifting, and the U.S. Mint was producing billions of coins to keep up with demand. Among them was the 1983p Washington quarter, struck in Philadelphia. But something went wrong. A small number of these quarters were minted on the wrong planchet. That's the blank metal disc used to make coins. Instead of the usual copper-nickel blend, some were accidentally struck on planchets meant for other denominations, creating what collectors now call the transitional error. It's like baking cookies and accidentally using salt instead of sugar. Except in this case, your mistake is suddenly worth almost $1 million. Not bad, right? Back to the coin, these errors cause subtle differences in weight, color, and even texture. Under a magnifying glass, experts noticed that the 1983p error quarters had sharper details, different edges, and in some cases, a strange off-center strike. These little imperfections, they're the golden ticket. And when the first of these coins hit the market, collectors went wild. Auction houses reported a bidding war unlike anything they'd seen in years. What started as a few $1,000s soon escalated, and before anyone could blink, one of these coins broke the record with a final sale price of $865,000. But here's the question that keeps collectors awake at night. How many of these coins are still out there, unnoticed, sitting in piggy banks or coin jars across America? Every great discovery begins with curiosity. The truth is, the next $865,000 quarter could be in your pocket right now. And unlike stocks, gold, or crypto, this isn't about speculation. It's about finding real, physical value that's been hiding in plain sight for decades. Imagine the story, you, holding a coin worth nearly $1 million. Imagine paying off your mortgage, traveling the world, or starting a business. All because you took a few minutes to look through your spare change. And here's the urgency. As awareness of the 1983p error quarter spreads, collectors are moving fast. Every day, more of these coins are being found, verified, and locked away in private collections forever. Once they're gone, so maybe it's time to raid that old coffee can your grandma kept for rainy days. Who knows, it might just be your lucky day after all. Because the truth is, for every coin we know about, there might be another still waiting to be discovered. And maybe, just maybe, the next life-changing discovery won't happen in a museum. It'll happen in your own hands. So if you're serious about living a wealthy, fulfilled life, start small. Start with your change. Because sometimes, the smallest things hold the biggest fortune. Don't forget to subscribe for more hidden treasures. secret coin values, and real stories of people just like you who turned their curiosity into fortune. Have you ever held something in your hand that looked so ordinary, yet could secretly be worth almost $1 million? Imagine flipping through your spare change, and there it is, a 1986 Mint Mark Washington quarter, gleaming under the light, carrying not just history, but fortune. Today, we're diving deep into the story of one of America's most shocking coin treasures, a 1986 Philadelphia minted quarter that has stunned collectors and investors alike with a jaw-dropping market value of $893,000. Now, before you rush to check your pocket change, stay with me, because this story isn't just about a rare coin. It's about how ordinary people are uncovering extraordinary wealth hidden in plain sight. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why this 1986 Washington quarter has become one of the most sought-after coins in America, and how one simple mistake at the mint created an empire of opportunity for collectors like you. To truly appreciate why this coin is commanding such incredible prices, let's go back to 1986, a year of innovation, energy, and quiet revolution at the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia. Millions of quarters rolled off the presses that year, featuring George Washington's proud profile and the bold P mint mark just below, "In God We Trust." But among those millions, a few quarters came out different. A few carried a minting error so rare, so subtle, that it took decades for collectors to realize what they had. The error? A striking anomaly, coins with double die obverse, off-center strikes, or dramatic planchet misfeeds that transformed a 25-cent piece into a six-figure artifact. It's these anomalies that push collectors into bidding wars, each one desperate to own a tangible piece of minting history. And here's the kicker. Many of these error coins still circulate. They're out there, hiding in coin jars, dresser drawers, or even gas station registers. Somewhere, right now, an unsuspecting person is handing over a piece of metal worth nearly $900,000 to pay for a cup of coffee. Kinda makes you want to check your change, doesn't it? You might be thinking, wait a second, I've got a whole jar of quarters. Am I sitting on a secret fortune? Well, don't go quitting your job just yet. But do grab that magnifying glass, because when it comes to coins like this, details are destiny. Serious collectors describe the 1986 error quarter as the ghost of the mint. Elusive, mysterious, and always in demand. Auction houses report heated bidding, with offers climbing past $500,000, $700,000, and now reaching $893,000 in recent private sales. Why such obsession? Because rarity drives desire. In a market where collectors and investors are hungry for tangible assets, these rare coins have become symbols of wealth, heritage, and exclusivity. Every coin tells a story, and this one tells the story of America's minting perfection gone beautifully wrong. And here's where the fear comes in. Not the fear of missing out on a lucky find, but the fear of ignorance. The truth is, coins like this are being sold every year, quietly, to those who recognize them. The uninformed walk past fortunes every single day, not knowing what they hold. Don't let that be you. Think about it. One simple piece of metal, overlooked, underappreciated, becomes a symbol of what's possible when you know what to look for. This isn't just about collecting coins. It's about transforming curiosity into opportunity. It's about stepping into the world of people who live differently, who think in terms of value, rarity, and legacy. And that's why smart investors from California to New York are paying close attention to rare error coins like the 1986 Washington quarter. They understand that value isn't created, it's discovered. Now here's where the story comes full circle. Every legendary coin begins as a small, unnoticed mistake, but ends as a massive triumph for the person who discovers it. The 1986 quarter's rise to nearly $900,000 isn't just luck. It's timing, awareness, and belief in the extraordinary hidden within the ordinary. So, the question is, are you ready to uncover your own hidden treasure? Because somewhere, in a box in your attic, a coin may be waiting. One that could change your story forever. Don't wait for someone else to find it first. Start today. Examine your quarters. Study the details. Look for doubling on liberty, off-center strikes, or unusual surfaces. You never know which coin could open the door to your next great chapter. And before you go, here's the real twist. There's another Washington quarter, from a different year, now rumored to be worth even more than this one. Could it be sitting in your home right now? Stay tuned, because in my next video, I'll reveal which year and mint mark you should be searching for immediately before collectors snatch them all up. Have you ever checked the change in your pocket and wondered if one of those ordinary-looking quarters could secretly be worth a fortune? Imagine this: you're holding a simple 1988 D Washington quarter. It jingles like every other coin, it looks almost identical. Yet, this unassuming piece of metal could be worth an astonishing $995,000. Yes, you heard that right, almost $1 million for a single quarter. Now, before you think this sounds too good to be true, stay with me, because in this video we're diving deep into the fascinating world of rare 1988 D Mint Mark era quarters, and how one mistake at the US Mint turned a small coin into a massive payday for collectors across the nation. By the end, you'll know exactly what to look for, and you might just discover that hidden treasure waiting in your coin jar or dresser drawer. But first, here's the question. What makes a 37-year-old coin worth nearly $1 million? The answer lies not just in rarity, but in the story behind the error, and how a tiny detail has captured the attention of wealthy collectors and investors who are constantly competing to own the rarest treasures of American history. To understand the incredible value of the 1988 D quarter, let's go back to Denver, 1988. The US Mint was producing millions of Washington quarters, a coin so familiar, so ordinary, that few could ever imagine it being valuable. But during the minting process, a handful of quarters were struck with a remarkable minting error. Collectors discovered that certain 1988 D quarters displayed misaligned mint marks, double-die errors, and striking imperfections that made them one of a kind. These weren't simple factory mistakes, they were historical anomalies, capturing a precise moment when human precision met mechanical imperfection. And here's where the excitement begins. Coin collectors, appraisers, and wealthy investors started bidding ferociously for these error coins once they were verified by professional grading services like PCGS and NGC. One of these rare 1988 D Mint Mark error quarters recently fetched close to $995,000 in a private auction, stunning even seasoned numismatists. You might be wondering, why would anyone pay that much for a quarter? It's because collectors aren't just buying metal. They're buying a story, the thrill of discovery, the rarity, and the prestige of owning something that virtually no one else in the world has. It's not just a coin. It's a symbol of opportunity, wealth, and legacy. Now pause for a second. Think about that jar of old coins you have tucked away in your kitchen drawer. What if one of them could change your financial future forever? Sounds far-fetched? So did Bitcoin in 2010.so? How do you know if your 1988 D quarter is one of the valuable ones? First, look closely at the mint mark D. If it's oddly placed, doubled, or slightly blurred, you might have something extraordinary. Next, check for unusual patterns on George Washington's face or the eagle on the reverse side. Even a small misalignment can mean the difference between 25 cents and $9.95. And here's where urgency comes in. The market for rare coins is exploding. More collectors are entering every year, and the demand for US Mint error coins has skyrocketed. As time passes, the value of these coins doesn't decrease, it multiplies. Now, let's imagine the moment you find one. You bring it to a professional grading service, and they confirm it's an authentic mint error. Suddenly, your coin is listed in exclusive collector circles, and you're fielding offers worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. You're not just lucky, you're part of a small, elite group of people who turn history into wealth. But here's a little humor to keep you on your toes. Just imagine trying to buy a cup of coffee with that same coin, and realizing later you just spent $995,000 on a latte. Painful, right? Don't let that happen. Because right now, as you're watching this, someone out there is checking their old change, and they could find their $1 million quarter before you do. So after this video, take 5 minutes to check your old coins. That single act of curiosity could lead to financial freedom, or at the very least, an incredible story to tell. And if you want to learn which other US coins are worth small fortunes, from rare pennies to legendary dollar coins, make sure you subscribe and stay tuned. The next video might just reveal the coin sitting in your wallet that could change your life forever. Imagine reaching into an old coin jar, flipping through a handful of quarters and realizing one of them could be worth nearly $750,000. Yes, you heard that right. A 1990 D Washington quarter, hiding in plain sight, carrying a staggering market value of $765,000 today. Hard to believe. That's what every collector said, until the truth surfaced. Welcome to the world where ordinary change becomes extraordinary wealth. Today, we're uncovering the rare 1990D Mint Mark Washington quarter, a coin that has become a legend among numismatists and wealthy collectors alike. So stay with me till the end of this video, because I'm about to show you how this rare quarter could be the ticket to your next luxury car, or maybe even that beach house you've been dreaming of. But here's the real question. How did a regular quarter, minted in Denver back in 1990, rise to such unimaginable value? And could one be hiding in your pocket right now? Let's dive in. The 1990D Washington quarter isn't just a coin. It's a mystery of precision, error, and luck. You see, during the Denver Mint's production that year, a small batch of quarters left the press with a dramatic minting error, a flaw so subtle yet so rare that it completely transformed their value. Some of these coins displayed misaligned dies, double strikes, or even off-center impressions, minute details that slipped past the Mint's sharpest eyes. At first glance, these coins look perfectly normal, but under magnification, the imperfections reveal their secret and their immense worth. Now, here's where it gets fascinating. Collectors and investors are obsessed with these minting errors. They see them not as mistakes, but as treasures of history, frozen moments of human imperfection in an otherwise perfect machine. And when the market realized how few of these 1990D era quarters existed, their value skyrocketed. To put it into perspective, a single coin, originally worth just 25 cents, has been appraised at $765,000 in today's market. Think about that. A simple quarter from 1990 is now worth more than most luxury homes in America. You might be wondering, why so much demand? The answer lies in rarity and story. The collector's market is fueled by emotional connection. The thrill of owning something unique, something no one else in the world can have. And this 1990D quarter tells a story of error, rarity, and fortune, all in one small piece of metal. But before you rush to your coin jar, ask yourself, what if you've already held one of these treasures in your hands and let it go and change? That's the haunting thought that keeps collectors awake at night. And yes, before you start raiding your laundry quarters, let's be real. You're about to give every cashier in town a heart attack when you start inspecting coins under the light. But hey, that's the fun part, because every big discovery starts with curiosity, and maybe just a bit of obsession. Now here's the most exciting part. Demand for the 1990D era quarter has never been higher. Wealthy private collectors and auction houses are actively hunting for these coins. Prices are climbing, and every month the story grows bigger. The current market value? Around $765,000 and rising. Experts predict that as fewer of these coins remain in circulation, the value will only increase. This is not just a coin, it's an asset, a rare piece of American minting history that can change your financial destiny overnight. So, here's what you should do right now. Check your collections, your old jars, your drawers, and even those forgotten piggy banks, because you never know, your next coin could be your breakthrough moment. Imagine holding a piece of metal that holds not just history, but hope. A coin that once bought a coffee, now buys freedom. That's the magic of numismatics, the art of transforming the ordinary into the extraordinary. And remember, while others scroll past opportunities, the wise ones look closer. They see value where others see change. So don't just dream of a wealthy lifestyle. Take the first step. Start with your coins, start with curiosity, and maybe, just maybe, the next millionaire collector could be you. Because somewhere out there, another 1990D Washington quarter is waiting to be found. And the only question is, will it be you who discovers it next? Stay tuned, stay curious, and keep your eyes on your coins, because the next small detail could be worth a lifetime of fortune. Imagine this. You're digging through a handful of loose change, quarters, dimes, and pennies jingling like everyday background noise, and suddenly, one coin catches your eye. It's just another 1990 Washington quarter, right? Wrong. Because what you might be holding isn't just a 25-cent coin. It could be worth an astonishing $654,000 today. Yes, you heard that right, $654,000 for a single quarter minted over 3 decades ago. Now, before you brush this off thinking it's just another too good to be true story, stop and think. How many people have unknowingly spent their fortune at a gas station, vending machine, or grocery store checkout? The truth is more than you'd imagine. And what makes this particular 1990 P Mint Mark Washington quarter so valuable might just be hiding in your pocket right now. So, grab your coffee, lean in, and let's unravel one of the most fascinating coin mysteries that has collectors, investors, and treasure hunters all buzzing with excitement and urgency. Because once you know what to look for, you'll never look at spare change the same way again. Back in 1990, the Philadelphia Mint struck millions of Washington quarters, each bearing that simple P Mint mark, a mark most of us overlook. But within that massive production run, a tiny handful of coins emerged with critical errors. Errors so rare that they transformed these ordinary quarters into treasures worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. These minting mistakes, like off-center strikes, double-die errors, and planchet flaws, created a once-in-a-lifetime anomaly. It's the kind of coin that doesn't just tell history, it makes history. And here's where it gets really exciting. The exact coin that sent shockwaves through the numismatic community sold for a jaw-dropping $654,000 at auction. Imagine that. Someone traded 25 cents for a small fortune, all because they noticed something slightly different, something most people ignored. Now pause for a second and ask yourself, how many times have you spent a quarter without even looking at it? We all do it. But the next time you see a 1990 P Washington quarter, you might just want to inspect it under the light. Look closely for subtle signs, imperfections that tell a story of rarity and luck. Because here's the secret that wealthy coin collectors already know. Opportunity hides in the overlooked. The rarest coins are often found not in vaults, but in the palm of an unsuspecting person's hand. That's the thrill of the hunt, the realization that life-changing value might be sitting in your change jar right now. And just when you think you've heard it all, here's the twist that shocks even experienced collectors. The demand for this coin isn't slowing down, it's growing. More collectors, more investors, and more curiosity are flooding the market, driving prices higher every year. This isn't just about numismatics. It's about owning a piece of American history that continues to appreciate in value. And before you start rummaging through your drawers, here's a funny thought. How many of us have accidentally vacuumed a $654,000 coin? If that doesn't make you want to check under your couch cushions tonight, I don't know what will. Here's the truth. You don't have to be a seasoned coin dealer to spot potential fortune. All it takes is awareness, curiosity, and the willingness to look closer. The 1990 P Washington quarter proves that wealth often hides in plain sight. For those who recognize the signs, it's not just about collecting. It's about reclaiming lost value, uncovering hidden assets, and stepping into a world where ordinary people discover extraordinary rewards. Think about it. While others scroll endlessly through social media, you could be discovering a quarter that transforms your life. A coin that tells your story, a vision of luck, and of being in the right place at the right time. That's not just exciting. That's empowering. So, don't wait. Start checking your coins today. Look for the 1990 P Mint Mark Washington quarter, and remember, each one holds the possibility of unlocking financial freedom. This is your moment to join those who turn spare change into a symbol of prosperity. Because here's the real cliffhanger. Right now, there may still be a few undiscovered 1990p era quarters out there, circulating in pockets, resting in piggy banks, forgotten in old jars. And the next one found could very well be yours. So, if you're ready to turn curiosity into opportunity, make sure you're subscribed, stay alert, and keep your eyes open. Because the treasure you're looking for might just be jingling in your pocket, waiting to make history one more time. Imagine holding a small piece of metal, something so ordinary, so familiar, that it slips through your fingers without a second thought. But what if I told you that one of those everyday coins, a simple 2021 P Washington quarter, could be worth an astonishing $786,000 today? Yes, nearly $800,000 for a coin you might have already spent on a cup of coffee. Sounds impossible? Well, that's exactly what makes this story so captivating. Now, before you rush to check your change, stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what makes this quarter so valuable, how to spot the error that could change your life forever, and why collectors across the nation are desperately searching for it right now. Let's dive into the world where metal turns into money and mistakes become million-dollar miracles. The 2021 P Washington quarter may look like every Other coin minted in Philadelphia. It bears the familiar face of George Washington, the founding father of freedom itself. But hidden beneath that patriotic portrait lies a minting anomaly so rare, it's rewriting coin collecting history. In 2021, a limited number of these quarters were struck with a dramatic mint error, a flaw so subtle that most people missed it. Some were double die strikes, others had off-center images or missing elements in the design. These weren't mistakes to the average eye, but to seasoned numismatists, they were pure gold. Collectors describe it as the modern miracle coin. Why? Because it's not just about rarity, it's about timing. In today's market, coin errors have become the next big frontier for investors. As traditional investments fluctuate, rare coins like the 2021 P error quarter are becoming symbols of tangible wealth. This is where passion meets profit. And that $786,000 valuation. It's not speculation. It's backed by current collector demand, auction results, and the undeniable trend of U.S. coin appreciation. People who once ignored pocket change are now building fortunes, one coin at a time. Picture this. A middle-aged father in Pennsylvania goes through his spare change jar one quiet evening. Among the dimes, nickels, and quarters, one coin catches his eye. Slightly misaligned, its rim uneven. He almost tosses it aside, but something tells him to look closer. Weeks later, that same coin is appraised and valued at over $700,000. That's not luck. That's awareness. This is where fear meets opportunity, because while most people let these treasures slip through their hands, a few alert individuals recognize what's right in front of them. And if you're watching this video right now, you're not one of the ones who miss out. You're the one who acts, who takes knowledge and turns it into power. So what should you look for? The 2021 P Washington quarter with clear minting errors, doubled lettering, a slightly shifted strike, or an off-center portrait can be your ticket to financial freedom. These aren't just coins. They're artifacts of precision and imperfection colliding in one rare moment of history. You see, the beauty of coin errors lies in their unpredictability. No machine, no mint, no expert can replicate that exact flaw again. Each one is unique, one of one, a fingerprint in metal. And let's be honest, isn't there something poetic about that? That even perfection, when it slips, can create something extraordinary. Now, before you start emptying every vending machine in your neighborhood, take a deep breath. I know it's tempting, but remember, this isn't about panic. It's about preparation. You don't need to raid your piggy bank yet. Instead, learn what to look for, because you could already be sitting on a fortune without even realizing it. Quick question, when was the last time you really looked at your change? Exactly. That silence you just felt? That's opportunity knocking. Collectors across the U.S. are aggressively pursuing these 2021 P error quarters. Coin shows are buzzing with speculation. Private collectors are offering record-breaking prices, and online auctions are heating up. It's not just about the metal. It's about the story. Each coin tells a tale of American craftsmanship, human error, and the mystery of chance. And here's the exciting part. Every great story like this one sparks a movement. That's why people in the know, investors, historians, even celebrities, are entering the rare coin market like never before. The modern coin era, once considered too new to hold value, is now proving everyone wrong. The 2021 P Washington quarter is proof that even recent coins can yield millionaire results. So, what happens next? Well, that's up to you. Right now, thousands of collectors are scouring bankrolls, estate sales, and online listings, hoping to find the next 2021 P error quarter before prices skyrocket even higher. And here's the truth. Demand isn't slowing down. It's accelerating. The scarcity, the story, and the thrill of discovery are fueling a gold rush in modern coin collecting. The people who act now, who understand that knowledge is leverage, are the ones who'll build lasting wealth. Some people see a quarter as just 25 cents. But the wise see something more: history, art, rarity, and opportunity combined in one gleaming symbol of value. The 2021 P Washington quarter isn't just a coin. It's a reminder that sometimes the extraordinary hides in the ordinary. So tonight, when you check your pockets, your change jar, or that old coin box in your drawer, Take a closer look. Your next big break might already be in your hands. And when you find it, remember this moment. Because one small discovery can create a lifetime of wealth. If this story inspired you, make sure to stay tuned. We'll uncover more rare US coins that are turning ordinary people into extraordinary success stories.